Bangkok. I arrived in Bangkok and very quickly was very happy. Stayed at the Rosewood my first few nights. This was my one treat yourself moment. And boy, does the Rosewood know how to treat a guest. I didn't use the TV. I honestly have barely watched TV at all. But I slept with the shades open most of the nights and took baths with them open too because one, nobody can see me, and two, the views are amazing. This is by the pool, and this is in one of the restaurants. Really cool architecture, really beautiful, really interesting. A lot of old tea relics and just cool things to see on the 37th floor, a record bar, and allegedly, and this is what they boast, the largest record collection, the most records of any place in Bangkok. I had breakfast or brunch there every single day, of course. And then one of the days I took a cooking class with May. We made pad thai, we made soup, we made desserts, so many things. And she was so sweet. It was really cool. We got to taste. And as we made each course, we ate that course and then we moved on to the next. So the whole cooking class took maybe 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours. Mortar and pestle, we did it the real way and it was absolutely delicious. I think I did a pretty great job, if I do say so myself, especially on making this mango sticky rice flour, which did take a little bit more time than you would think, but it was really great and really fun, and I met some super nice people. I hung out at my hotel a bunch of the other days. I only left for one night at Chabad and the cooking class. And then I went for a walk one night where I stumbled upon this kids celebration in the park, which was absolutely amazing. It was so cool and adorable, and I think it was a Sunday night, so it was just such a festivus day. And then there was also a night market with these hilarious fried who knows what's wearing sunglasses, which really cracked me up. As I walked around this night market, got myself a little bit of yums, but the next day was very exciting as we took a special train that you will see in just a moment. Is spectacular and famous for one reason. And even though it's become a little bit touristy, I would say it's still worth going to because this market is so close to the town. When you pull in from the train, people are legitimately 1 foot away from the train. It's kind of shocking, and you'll see that the vendors pull everything in. So when we got off the train and we got to walk around the market, we were able to see what it looks like, and all of these awnings get pulled up and taken in or taken out when the train is coming and going. So as the train leaves, you can see that they reopen their awnings and then you continue to walk on the train tracks. It's gotten a little bit more touristy, so now it's a lot of souvenirs and less fish and fruit and such, but you can still find that a little bit, which was what the market was originally known for. So it was really cool and exciting to see it in its heyday. Another part of this excursion was to the floating market, Charawan Suko, if I'm saying that correctly, where I got pad thai made on a boat, and we got to drive around. It was really cool. I mean, aside from a little bit of the fumes, some of the boats have motors now and some of them are paddled by hand. But otherwise, it was really cool and fun. And so unique. I walked around Bangkok where, as per usual, there's so much cool art around every corner and every bend. I found myself walking and discovering and then finding River City, Bangkok. Could not recommend more. It was so cool. I just have to take a moment to say that I randomly stumbled upon this 4-floor mall, except it's all antiques and art galleries and artists working in their workshops, which are galleries, and the amount of joy and emotion from randomly stumbling upon this, just deciding to wander and find it in Bangkok, and then to see some of the most magical art and antiques. I've been on the verge of tears for like an hour. It's just magical. As per usual in most of Southeast Asia, and especially in Bangkok, lots of nightlife and things happening along the waterways all over the city. There's always food vendors and food being sold outside of the restaurants that already stand there. So it's just really cool to walk around. You can get a massage by just sitting outside. This was the one time that I walked around Khao San Road. And Bangkok has so much more to offer than this one known partying street. I highly recommend, if you don't come to Bangkok for that, you check it out for 30 minutes or less, and then you continue on to the rest of the actual magic of Bangkok, which I have to tell you, there is so much. This cafe in particular was really beautiful. It's been around for a really long time in a building that has trees growing in the middle of it, and somehow the Thai can do a bagel. There's also a lot of Chinese heritage, and we came to this park after getting some treats. There's always places to eat. I did my first tuk-tuk ride with a friend that I met back in Bali that happened to be in Bangkok at the same time as me. We went to Chinatown, got some food every place is Michelin guided these days, but I will say that it was good. As the sun set, we continued around Chinatown. We had so many different treats, and it was really yummy and cool to see how different cultures can continue to meld. This sweet soup with coconut and other yummy treats in it was great. And then I had a really nice pad thai meal sitting across from Wat Arun Ratchawaram, which is super famous. And then I went to the Museum of Siam, learned a lot more about Thai culture and Thai beliefs, Thai art, and it was just really cool and really beautiful to see throughout the ages and varieties of Thai clothing, from traditional to modern, from casual to fancy. Learned a lot about histories from the different kings. We are now on Rama 10. Everybody loves King Rama 9, who recently passed away, and you can see pictures of both of them, as well as his wife, all around the city. So that was cool. This room in the museum also showed some cool different inventions, like a bag to carry your drinks or a bag to put your liquids in, as the Thai often do, which is quite interesting, and I spoke to some Thai people about it. We got to see what classrooms look like, this interactive exhibit where I could put a plate and see the different ingredients and how food was made. It was a really nice interactive museum, really beautiful. And then I went to the giant reclining Buddha. It was honestly emotional and so beautiful. I sat there for some time. It was really special. And then I continued on across. Met back up with my friend, and we went to a golden temple that overlooks a bunch of the city for beautiful sunset views, as you can obviously see. And as the sky changed color, the gold somehow lit up even more. I continued on to Bangkok's cultural center. Bangkok Art and Culture Center, which had sort of a Guggenheim style inside and lots of exhibitions. The theme this year was Mother Earth, Gaia, Mother Nature, connectedness, and sort of the human world in relation to the natural world. And these glass sculptures were particularly amazing to me because they were so teeny tiny. This exhibition really hit home. The artist took newspapers and changed the subject from male to female to show how much aggression there is against women, but how strange it would be to read those articles if women did that against men. Battering them, killing them, putting a couch over their dead body. pretty crazy. But on a lighter note, there was other beautiful art to see, and this overhead walking pass connecting from mall to mall, where they had set up a Muay Thai fight night. I only watched very shortly, and then I left. I got food, and then I got this really interesting dessert. I can't really explain to you what the ice cream was, but it was great. As I walked home, I walked through a really popular area that I told myself I'd go back to the next morning, so here I am. And then I sat in this cute little cafe to have a little smoothie bowl before I went to the Green Lung. Now, I have to tell you, the Green Lung is probably Bangkok's best kept secret. You can take a car and drive like around the long way, or you can take a really short boat ride. This monk was also on my boat. And when you arrive to the Green Lung, you can rent a bike. In the middle of my bike ride, I found this hostel that had a pool and a library, and I took a book and I sat by the pool and I read about philosophy and I ate some pad thai, and it was really beautiful. The Green Lung is super cool to bike around, to see what feels like you're on an island, but you're still technically in the middle of Bangkok. And it was just really exciting for me to get to explore and see all of that. And it was really quiet and peaceful, and there was a Muay Thai gym that was like right in the middle of the Green Lung. There was some wildlife, of course, and some of the paths were so small that I was biking like in this teeny little walkway. I stayed safe, don't worry. But then I stumbled upon a market where bought some delicious fresh fruit and donuts and a bunch of other great stuff. Biked and then went for a run a little bit later, and stumbled upon this farm where they do a lot of learning with children and environmental advocacy and nature work, and it was really cool. Obviously, a night market every single night, because how could you not? Tried a few new foods that I had never had before, which was delicious. Went to a rare rooftop. I honestly don't ever really go to bars, so it was a bar/restaurant, and then went to Chabad. I do use my phone during Shabbat, but this happened to be before sundown anyway. Then I went across the river to the view that I saw during brunch a few days ago, to be able to be at the Wat, a super famous temple. And it had really, really incredible art and sculptures, and just the work and the maintenance that's kept for all of these religious sites is beyond impressive. They take so much care, and Wada Run is just so cool. I finished off with going to another museum where there was this really interesting video, and then it blew my mind how this artist used recycled materials and mannequins to show how our consumerism and our waste has made like inhumane versions of us, and honestly like morphed. It was super cool. Bangkok just blew my socks off. I thought that Bangkok was just partying and like a stopover type of place. Boy, was I wrong. Bangkok is magical. New York or Boston or so many other cities have a really specified vibe in one neighborhood to the next. There's a specific type of person who lives there, who works there, the types of boutiques or food, restaurants, art, the types of buildings and architecture and things that are in each neighborhood are often very, very specific. What you're going to see in Midtown in one area is not what you're going to see in Stuytown, or is not what you're going to see in Greenwich Village or whatever. And Boston similarly as well. Bangkok is like all mixed up. There's magic around every corner. Every hidden bend, you think that you're going to find, I don't know, I was just wandering, and then all of a sudden there's like a chocolate factory and people selling car parts out of their house and listening to like country music while they're fixing motorcycles. And then all of a sudden, like, it's local people in their homes, and then a Michelin star restaurant. And you just wander around these alleyways and you find magic. Like, it's hard to even put the words on it. Bangkok's amazing. And as you saw in the video, at one point I stumbled upon like a mall, but it was really all art galleries and antique stores, and it was amazing. Like, every single day in Bangkok was amazing. After 4 days, I was like, I need more, and I booked another 4 or 5, and I really loved it. And as a friend of mine described it, there's a lot of life in the streets, which is really cool and not the same in a lot of cities. So many street vendors, so many people walking around, so many restaurants that have tables set up, like little mom and pop shops, set up, and just there's so much life in the streets, and I honestly liked Bangkok so much. I cannot stress enough that it's not just a stopover place. It's freaking amazing, like, so great. And something that I was thinking about during my time in Bangkok and was journaling about was in the past being tied to material items and working through this process of becoming untied. And since I'm traveling with only a backpack on my back and a backpack on my front, like, what does it actually mean to have possessions? And I met someone that didn't have possessions for a whole year. Like, he just, nothing in his pockets, didn't have a phone, like, met people, survived. And I don't know, I think that there's something interesting about the fact that very, very rarely have I purchased something and I've been having this rule of one in and one out. So when a friend gave me a skirt, I left a skirt at the hostel in Bangkok. When I bought one, like, t-shirt, I left a t-shirt, like a sleeping t-shirt that I had brought from New York, because I have like 5 of them. And just like continuously becoming untied to labels or material items or whatever, and like realizing the egoic place that comes from. Realizing the egoic place that comes from, and that I don't like need all of these things, and being surrounded by people who have none of those things, that are so happy and living such flourishing lives, is a reminder that like that stuff is not what gives me joy. And I'm really excited to continue down this path of not feeling so tied to material items and untying myself from that narrative of consumerism and capitalism that I personally, as an American, feel like I was raised with, by like wanting to fit in with the cool girls in school and all these kinds of things that like my middle school self right now is really working through. Like, I can love myself regardless of this or the, you know, like any of the things, which is really cool. Another thing that I have been really working on is like when things don't go my way, to really change the narrative in my mind. So for example, one of the days at the hotel pool, there weren't any pool chairs available when I came from brunch. And at first I was pissed because there were like sitting up chairs kind of around the pool in the shade, but there were no lounge chairs. And I was like, ugh, like whatever, I have to sit in these other chairs. Then I thought to myself, you know what, this is great. I need to get some work done for my online pranayama class on my computer. It's better to be out of the UV rays for a little bit and sit in the sun, because I know that I'm in the sun so many other times. And I just ate, so I need to digest anyway. And just reframing it in my mind of like, I had a plan, I had an agenda, I'm gonna lay at the pool, and when things don't go my way, I can just surrender to the change and let go of that. Cool, I'm gonna sit in a chair for a bit. And it was great. And then later on, when a bed became available, I went over there. No problem. Don't need to be so like aggressively tied to this one plan or outcome, and can be seeing the positive when things have to change. Yeah. I was sitting at a outdoor vendor having like a vegetarian soup, and at the end of the soup there was a dead bug in there, and I was like, oh great, good thing I just ate the whole soup. In the past I probably would have freaked out, and this time I was like, well, good thing I'm done with it now. And paid and left. And I kind of laughed to myself with a sense of pride of like, look at that. Look at how chill I was. And I think that I still have a high standard of cleanliness when it comes to my food. But as people say when you travel, don't look in the kitchen. But I'm glad that I'm becoming less uptight. It's something that I've been trying to work on. Something else that I've been really noticing, like as I follow my intuition even more and get to know myself and get in touch with my heart and my wants and my needs even more, as opposed to what I think I should do or what I think people are supposed to do or have to do or whatever, is that I was like, okay, maybe I should go to the going out street or whatever, or maybe I should go to bed earlier, maybe I should blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, you know what? It's nice outside. I see a park. Let's just take a walk. And when I went there, I found magic. It was like a kids festival where kids were building things, and there was like music and dancing with kids and families, and they were like sledding in cardboard boxes down these little slides, and just like using recycled materials to build things. It was super cool. And then I continued on. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing and adorable. And then I continued on and saw this huge food festival. That was like a pop-up. And I don't know, I just followed my gut to go check out this park and to get a little fresh air, and then more Bangkok magic. So it was really amazing. Another thing that I also feel like is coming to mind is becoming hyper aware of when I'm being judgmental. And everyone's different, everyone is on their own journey, and while we're traveling, everyone is on their own travel journey. It's not my job to judge. It's a waste of brain space and energy for me to be judging them. And I'm staying in luxurious 5-star resorts and middle of nowhere, like 8-bed dorm rooms, like it really spans the gamut. And like it's not my job to judge anyone else's travel, and if someone's gonna judge mine, then that's their prerogative, but I'm not gonna let it take up brain space. So something I'm still really working on. I find myself at times there's still like these conditionings that I've had from the US of judging what people are doing or they're wearing or whatever, putting them into a hierarchy, or feeling that someone is doing that to me because that was so much of what I felt growing up, or college, or living in New York City or Miami, especially, whatever was kind of like. So that's something that I'm still really working on. And in general, that would all be sort of summed up to say that I'm trying to become more and more aware of what's in alignment with me, what's in alignment with like deeply my heart and my soul, and not just my ego. Like what's actually aligned with what I want and what I need and what I believe, my values, where I want to put my energy, as opposed to what society has previously told me I need or should do or must or blah 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 blah. And yeah, it's just, Bangkok is so magical. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And I can't wait to be back. Sending so much love to everyone who's watching this, whether I know you or I don't. And yeah, wishing so much health and happiness and joy. Bye.